Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boulevard 96 reporting live from the city of Denelton in South Africa, sending a whole lot of positive energy to everybody out there. Hope everybody is good. Welcome to the Boulevard 96 show. I give to you episode 9, where we'll be talking about everything business, self-development, money, and more. But before we carry on, I'm going to start off with a young disclaimer. This podcast does not constitute as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, please seek somebody who is certified and registered with the FSCA. Hey, so guys, today's conversation is all about how can we live our lives the same way that we play Monopoly? You know, how can we apply the principles in Monopoly and put them in our real life scenarios? And what that basically means is, how can I get multiple greenhouses and one red house? Even if this is not a straightforward real estate conversation, but in the general, it's really what it is about. It's how can I acquire a lot of money through multiple income streams? And obviously that is by you then stepping into many different ventures aside from just the one venture that you find yourself currently in. You know, sure, yes, maybe you're a career person. There's a specific career that you have. You know, you're a professional in a certain field, whether you're a chartered accountant, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a, you know, you could be a person you could be a scientist, you could be you could be anything right now in this scenario. You could be a teacher, you could be somebody who's a street vendor, you could be so many things, né? And that is the one thing that you're doing, yes. But also, how are you diversifying your portfolio as a person? How are you diversifying your streams of income? How are you making sure that you are making more money and that is keeping up with whatever the inflation rates are? Because yes, we are living in a time and a society whereby things are becoming more expensive every year. Bread is no longer what it used to be. Eggs are no longer what they used to be. Rent is no longer the same each month or each year or however much. You know, things keep changing. Things keep becoming more expensive. And you know, you find yourself in a position whereby you can be part of the percentage of people who are, you know, this thing is happening and your life is still the same. And thus, as things keep getting more expensive and certain individuals keep getting richer, you keep getting poorer and poorer and poorer because you can no longer afford these things because you're still earning maybe the same amount of income, maybe even less. And obviously the inflation rates and all of that keep switching things up, and all the interest rates and all of that. So the main gist about everything is, how as a person do you survive in a society like that? How do you keep up with the times? And generally what that is right now, it's multiple streams of income. And I don't even think right now, I could say for as long as currency has possibly existed, I'm sure that's the one method that actually makes sense. Multiple streams of income, they make the thing happen. They make you win at Monopoly, because even in Monopoly, you don't just succeed by just having one city or one greenhouse, you know, because in the game itself, you'll most likely still be losing in that ratio, right? I mean, if there's like 4 of us playing Monopoly and I only own literally like one town / house, one greenhouse, and my 3 friends own every other block on the board, you know, with their greenhouses and their red houses and all of that, obviously to some extent I'm going to be losing, because every step that I make, even though I've got my one source of income, I've got, sure, maybe even if it is Santon that I own, sure, Santon is bringing in some income, it's fine whenever somebody lands on my Santon, but every other move I'm making, landing on every other person's property, I'm going to be paying something, right, in the game of Monopoly. So in real life, that scenario is everybody else's red houses and greenhouses that you're essentially paying for is your general life expenses. It's your rent, you know, it's your school fees, it's your groceries, it's everything that you require to spend every month in order to survive, right? And we know the best practice in life is to always make more than you spend. Always have more money than what you're willing to spend. And by living with a strategy like that, you're sure to survive, right? Because at the end of the day, we're chasing survival. We're not really chasing title. We're not just chasing the fact that, yes, I am a qualified doctor, for example, as a person. I studied 7 years, 9 years, 10 years, however many years for this thing. But what happens when you graduate and there are no jobs, right? Then you need to focus on how you can still be making money even when this thing you're still applying, you're still trying to get a job. But if you're not finding something for 6 months as you're still applying, for those 6 months, are you really just waiting for a response, or are you the type of person that's actually going to make a plan to make some money, to get a stream of income on the side, maybe another stream income that can be given birth from that, and then that, and then that, and then that, and then that, so that even you find yourself, by the time you do get employed, then you've already got so many things that are making you money that you actually just maybe doing it just because it's your passion. Maybe you can then just, live that life where you're like, nah, this thing I'm doing it because it's my passion. I don't necessarily need to survive off of it, right? Because even as a person, our expenses, they're so diverse. Even if, let's say, you earn 20,000 rand, right? You live a standard life. Sure, you earn 20,000 rand. Maybe the house you stay at is 5,000 rand, and the car is also 5,000 rand, and then grocery plus general living expenses is like 5,000 rand. Sure, and perhaps you do put some money away into your savings, because everybody should save, yes, and then the rest of it is money that you probably spend or you borrow on, or some random thing. It's fine, sure, cool. Your life is decent in that sense, yes. But then what happens when let's say you're the breadwinner at home, you're the one who you're supporting umama, and the next thing, accident happens. Now, because you're the breadwinner, you gotta pay her bills at the hospital, which are like 40,000 rand, and they need to get this money cash from you. And then the same month, the geyser at the house, it bursts, boom, it's gone, and now insurance won't pay for whatever reason we don't even know. And now you gotta take out 10,000 rand for the ceiling and the geyser and whatever, right? And then some other random expense happens. Somebody crashes a car, dents the car or something, and you've got this, and now it's 1 month, and you've got this giant bill of like 60,000 rand or 70,000 rand. And I know this could be a little bit far-fetched, but come on, guys. I'm sure we've seen our parents go through some trippy stuff, especially the youth and people in general. Even the old people, they've seen their parents go through some trippy things which just came out of the blue, which then bring a whole financial strain to you in that moment in time, and there's nothing you can do about it. So yes, you are living a comfortable life. You're earning a salary, one salary shapo, which was whatever 20,000 rand, which could sustain your lifestyle. But now you've got this random expense of like 60,000 rand or 70,000 rand, and then you find yourself in a situation whereby you need to take 60,000 rand or 70,000 rand worth of debt from a bank or from a mashonisa or from your friend, or something, because you really need to pay these things, right? And sure, it's not to say if you have multiple streams of income that you could or couldn't, but it's more like, why not put yourself in the position of actually like being ready for a situation like that, because I feel like even if those extra means of income can only bring 45,000 rand of that 90,000 rand that you need in total, you've at least covered half by just trying, So the overall point I'm trying to say is, live this life like Monopoly. Acquire more greenhouses, acquire more streams of income, because so many individuals that I've been blessed enough to meet in my life, I've seen how they can flex with like so many different, skill sets that they have, or they can flex with, some passions that they have, because as people, we do have more than one passion. It does happen. Like I know people like Zandile Chabalala, what she did, she was selling hair, and then she was selling hair, through her Facebook and all of that, and her WhatsApps and all of that. And then she was also running an online thrift store through Instagram, and she's also a fine artist. She does exhibitions and she sells her artwork. That's like 3 streams of income on its own. Even a situation like Patrice Motsepe, for example, he's got Time Bank, he's got Rain Network, he's got Sundowns, he's got all these Buddha Global Citizen, he's got all these things that he's running, right? Which obviously means it's different bags, different streams of income. And what's also trippy about it is they don't always have to be in the same industry. Like if you take, for example, a company like Samsung, yes, they're in electronics, and electronics is the overall thing that they do, but they're diverse. They diversify their portfolio, they diversify their streams of income, they greenhouses, you could call it, inverted commas, whereby it just means they've got different products that they give out. You know, in Monopoly, the greenhouses are generally just the product. The greenhouses are the value you're giving to the people, right? Give or take, as you could say in the real estate term. It's what the people are getting from you. So Samsung, what they're giving us is electronics, but different types of electronics. They're giving us cell phones, they're giving us fridges, they're giving us televisions. You know, Patrice Motsepe has all those companies that I mentioned that he's running. People like Aliko Dangote, his company, it does agro processing via, they make, you know, food, processed foods and so forth, and they make things like flour and rice and all of that, but they also make things like cement and, you know, sugar and rice and all these types of products. And that just shows you that as individuals and as companies, that's generally how we need to be thinking. What can I be doing that can bring more income, even if it's things that are either in the same industry or not in the same industry, but because as a person, the possibilities are so endless. You've got skills, you've got passions, you've got things that you can possibly just be open enough to just trying out, and you might actually become good at that thing. You know, because a lot of times it's really a matter of, sure, you find yourself, you're studying to be a certain thing and you're fully in that industry, yes, but you also never know what might just happen by you trying something new also. By you also maybe finding out what would happen if even just a small thing like you trying out a waitering job. Maybe it might lead to you figuring out that you actually have a good personality for sales in general. You know, you're good with your communication skills and your people skills, and maybe that's the industry that you could possibly get into, but maybe the waitering job just groomed you into that. And aside from that, as a waiter or a waitress, you'll be also getting some income. And I believe this one is definitely mostly important for the students, because I feel like the students, there's so many things that you guys can do, especially in the times that you're still in school, because the benefit of it is, it's not like when you're done with school. I feel like the life of being in school and the life after school is two different worlds. I mean, a lot of people, they're in school right now, they've got bursaries, maybe their parents are paying for their fees, maybe they're not sure, but they're still in a situation whereby, you know, their finances, it's not a big strain on them yet until they actually finish, because they're not the ones paying for their rent, they're not the ones that are paying for their school fees and all of that. And the people that are already in that position whereby they have to pay for their school fees, I trust that y'all are definitely making a plan to, you know, acquire some money, some income, you know, because we gotta be hustling. But yes, but also everybody in that realm of still being in school, and even doesn't matter, even if you're not in school, you've got so much time, you've got 24 hours in a day, you've got 7 days in a week, you've got like 30 or 31 days in a month. You can break up that into you making different plans, you making a worthy investment in somebody's company, or you trying out a different venture which you know involves you having to do the thing, because there's so many opportunities, even like to the extent that as students, for example, you could be a girl, sure, maybe you've got school Monday to Friday, sharp, you're in class from like 8 up until 4 and all of that, and then school takes up most of your time up until like 9 or 10 o'clock on a daily doing assignments and all of that stuff. You've still got extra hours in the day to still do something, to still learn a different skill set, to still push a certain brand, to still try to sell something. You have social media whereby you don't really need to be out there. You could be somewhere at like 10 o'clock, yes, you just finished with your assignments, and now what you're doing is you're pushing your business whereby you do people's hair on weekends. So let's say on weekends you do like two different girls per weekend, and you make a profit of like 100 rand per girl. So if that's 200 rand a weekend, that's like maybe give or take 800 rand a month, right? That you could be making, which is extra income, right? So that already is could be a startup into something, and then you can take that 800 rand that you get at the month to maybe invest in another something, or you can use that money to grow that specific business, whereby you can maybe employ another person, and maybe instead of doing 2 girls hair per weekend, you're now doing 4 girls hair per weekend. I mean, the possibilities are endless. There's so many things people can do to generate more income. You can utilize the tools that you have. Maybe you have a lawnmower, maybe you can cut people's grass, maybe you're like me and you own a camera. you know. And let's say like myself, I'm a qualified photographer, right? So I'm qualified in beauty photography, but maybe to if those two are not maybe making enough income for me, how I can diversify that is then obviously start taking photos of baby showers or birthdays or weddings. You know, I can turn Around the Box Studios into into an online radio station. I can try all these different things that diversify the portfolio of my company and also of myself, because then I'm involved in different industries to some extent, even though they all still fall under photography, but at least I'm growing my business in that sense of I'm chasing other opportunities or options of income. So as people, it also becomes that can that one industry that you're in, can you find a way to use it to maybe make more money, or do you need to now get involved in other industries and other type of careers to see if you can actually make more money? You know, you always watch these movies or you hear these rappers and they tell you how their moms were working like 4 jobs or 5 jobs or 3 jobs, and you know, that whole scenario. That is a real thing. That is a real chat. And I feel like it's not just people that are in the trap that go through that. Like, big people go through that in the sense of they're creating multiple streams of income for themselves. That's why you have companies that are involved in so many different industries. You know, you have for example, Apple. Apple went from just MacBooks into the cell phone industry with the iPhone. They went into music with the iTunes. They went into movies with the Apple movies and all of that and all of that and all of that. You know, people and industries that are showing you that the best way to survive in this world is to continue to increase your streams of income, to increase your cash flow, to increase your net worth, and through all of that, getting assets and all of that, because you're never too young and it's never too soon for you to do any of that, to be flexible with your time. Because I hear a lot of people telling me, no, but like I'm still in school, like I don't have enough time because I'm focused and all of that. And sure, the boy is focused, the girl is focused, but hey, what you gonna do when you graduate and you don't get a job? And aside from that, in the moment in time that you are focused, you are to some extent broke. So if the lifestyle that you're living is constantly making you broke and maybe you want to make more money, then obviously you need to then make a plan, you know. And a lot of people that like I mentioned, and then the people that come up with the excuse of how they're in school and all of that, you find that, let's say for example, Sharp, you are done with your assignments and all of that shandies at like 10 o'clock, like you are, and then you claim that's too late to be doing anything. A lot of y'all be out there on some, you know, watching series or watching movies on your Netflix and chill from like you're not 10 o'clock up until 1 o'clock, when you could actually in between all of that, you could just utilize like 30 minutes or an hour of that to actually push that business that I was speaking about, that you could push on the weekend. Because life is all about being flexible, guys. So I'm just fascinated and I'm so motivated by all the individuals that I've gotten to meet and all the individuals that I see on Twitter or on Instagram or on Facebook who are involved in so many mediums. They're involved in so many things. People are so flexible. That's how we get millionaires. That's how we get billionaires. That's how we get people like Jay-Z, who was just a rapper, into becoming a billionaire. That's how we get people like Kanye West, who was just a rapper, into being billionaires, because they're not just focused on the bag of the passion of the music of, yes, they are musicians, yes, and we respect that, and they can sell however many records or whatever, but is that really enough for the lifestyle that they're trying to live? And obviously through what they've proved is that it's not. So what do? They diversify by then getting involved in other industries which are even out of their league. You know, you have people that are taking leaps of faith just to try something out. I even saw Kanye West, he even bought a farm, you know, so now they're going to be growing the wool. Growing the wool with the sheep and all of that. And they're going to be doing a whole lot of things with domes and trippy things like that. You know, they're taking a whole leap of faith, something which is totally out of the box. And I feel like that's really what it is. All these things that you could be doing on the side, it's really you taking a moment to just be out of the box. Even if it's things that you're already passionate about, or things that, you know, are just general skills, or like I said, something that you've never thought you could do, and it's, you know, you taking up something new. Get into that, utilize it to the fullest, and see how it can generate income. How can you take one thing, take it to another, take it to another, take it to another, take it to another. You know, people even such as myself, I mentioned all those things that I could be doing with my photography, which I actually am, by actually trying to shoot more than just fashion and beauty. I'm here trying to make Around the Box an actual online radio station like we got with the Boulevard 96 show. I'm out here in agriculture, you know. I'm out here with the music when I was even making music as much as I was. I was making money from it through at least like performances, or making people use my music for something. And it's just creating that character of, okay, even as industries change, even as I myself as a person keep changing, keep growing, keep liking certain things and not liking certain things, how can I still the one system that I can at least maintain? How can I maintain that thing of always having multiple streams of income, even if things die out and some things become boring, and some things, how do I make sure at least that I do not end up with just that one? Because I'm not saying if you end up with that one that your life is over, or that your life is whack or anything like that. I'm saying if you're surviving, then kudos to you. But if you feel like you're in a position that whereby your lifestyle really does require more money, it really does require you to be increasing the value that you get every single month or quarterly or whatever, then that is the best the best solution that I can give to you. Multiple streams of income, from buying shares to starting a company to investing in another person's company, to you doing this, to you doing that, to you providing a service, creating a product, finding a product, selling it, network marketing, all of these things, all of these different industries you can get into, from property to freaking waste, to garbage, there's energy, every department in J that exists. We have Department of Agriculture, we have Department of Education, we have Department of everything. Just find a way. If you had to find a way to make income from each department, what would it be? And are you willing enough to do it? Are you going to utilize the 24 hours, the 7 days, the 28 to 30 days that you've got in a month? Are you going to be utilizing that to increase your sources of income, to survive, to actually make sure that you are part of that 1% that is getting richer, and not part of everybody else who's still getting poorer and poorer and poorer because they are not making a plan to increase their sources of income? So guys, tell me if any of this advice was valid to any of you, whether you took it up, whether you feel like there's a certain way that you also believe one can also work around shifting this whole situation of the multiple streams of income. I'd love for us to engage in that conversation. Definitely hit me up on all my social media platforms, BLVD, pronounced Boulevard _96 on Instagram and Twitter. Shout out to everybody that subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you haven't, please do so. Like, share, feel free to comment. We'll definitely have conversations about anything. I'm really open, or anything business and money and self-development related. I'm definitely open to making a conversation, and overall just positive energy. So I hope everybody takes me up on this one, and let's just keep doing whatever we can in order to make sure we secure these bags, let them be multiple, let them be more, and let's continue to flourish in this life, guys. And much love to everybody. This is the Boulevard 96 show. My name is Boulevard 96, your host, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Saga Talk.